If you're looking for a first car, BMW 1 Series is one of the best cars you can choose. It's compact, good looking, sporty, economical, fast and reliable. Well, maybe not the last two, but you get what I mean. I wasn't looking to buy another BMW, but around 3 months ago this E81 popped up for sale for around 2,000 euros. So immediately I lowballed the seller with a 1,000 euro offer, which he politely declined, and well, I forgot about the car. But few weeks ago I randomly stumbled upon the old messages and I saw that the car was still for sale. So I messaged him again and offered him 700 euros. And he agreed. So when we saw the car, we lowballed him again and bought it for 500. When super cheap cars like that pop up for sale, you just can't not buy them. I have actually never had an E81 before. This is 3-door. Simple, missing passenger seat for some reason. The guy said he used it in another project, super annoying. In the car, smells like something I can't even say on YouTube. This car has the best engine BMW has ever made if you want to go broke. N43. And on the ground, that's an oil stain. Let's get a booster on. I think the guy said the car got rod knock. When we went there to look at it, he really didn't want us to start it, so we didn't. And from the oil on the floor, there's a possibility that it might have threw a rod. Beautiful oil stain. Hello, Mr. Booster. Now, this is actually the smaller version of this engine. This is the 1.6 liter, so it has the smaller cylinders. 189,000 kilometers. Annoying thing is there's no dipstick on that engine and you can't really check the oil. Let's see at least if the engine is cranking over. Oi, it definitely starts up. I mean, it definitely runs. So it probably hasn't thrown a rod. So the engine needs to be on for it to show how much oil there is inside. I'm not gonna drain it. There's no point because I'm pretty sure this engine is dead. So here I have some cheap oil, semi-synthetic, but who cares. So I added some. Let's get a rev. I mean, not bad. We have an airbag light because of the passenger seat, of course. I think I might be hearing a rod knock. Oil level. Let's go for a test drive, I guess. Do you hear that? Yep. Why did I put the tripod right there? I mean, it doesn't drive bad though. Yep. Clear rod knock. Okay, I need to turn it off before it actually throws a rod. What can we do to fix this engine? If we would want to fix the same engine, this one, we would probably need a new crankshaft, one rod, possibly oil pump. And when you go down that route, it becomes expensive. But when the car is like this is a car for like 4,000 euros. We need to go the budget route. So that's why I have already bought this. Another N43 B16A engine from the center of Europe, Lithuania. As some of you guys know, buying working second-hand engines is my specialty. And this engine is not an exception. Of course, it's not a running engine. Actually, it was running and driving, but the chains were super stretched. He said he removed the valve cover and you could pull it up with your finger, the chains. But it was running, and it was in time. So the valves are supposed to be not bent. Bet you guys know how it is with buying engines like these. seems like it's complete for the most part. I guess this engine we need to check the compression if that's okay. If that's good, then we need to change the timing chains, and we will also swap out valve stem seals, because these engines are known to burn oil because of it. And of course the gaskets along the way. So that shouldn't be too big of a problem, I think. I have built a secret washing station. It's so secret, I'm not even gonna show you guys. So I'm gonna wash the engine in that secret washing station, and then I will come back to you guys. I want to remove and inspect the oil filter. I'm not sure what is happening, but the filter is brand new. Oh my god! I don't think the engine even ran with this filter. Well, that's not good. Did I just got scammed again? Glitter. Oh. I was filming, but it seems that my mic had died, so the audio didn't get picked up. I tried to do a leak down test with this leak down tester. If you don't know what it is, it's a tool that you put into the spark plug hole, and then you use compressed air to supply like 6 bars of pressure into the combustion chamber, and that shows you how much leakage there is, how much air is leaking through piston rings, valves, stuff like that. So it did that, but the gauge wasn't working and it was a full mess. Now I think I will do a compression test better, because I don't want to just put it together and don't know the state of it. And to do a compression test I need a starter motor, which I don't have. The starter motor is on the car, so I will put that on this engine to check the compression. So now I already disassembled a bit, put the trims inside. Now I'm pulling the belt off. Okay, now I will pull off the alternator. So I need to actually remove the engine from the engine stand and put the flywheel on so we can turn it over. Yeah, I mean, it turns over. Okay, 19 bars. The problem is I put a bunch of oil into the cylinders because I don't know how long it's been standing open and stuff. 15 bars. That is 16 bars as well. And that's 19 bars. Very inaccurate because of the oil that they put in the cylinders. The oil creates the perfect seal between the piston rings and the cylinder walls. But at least we know that there's no crazy leakage in the valves or some stuff like that. We know that this engine is gonna run. Now we'll just pull off the valve cover. Okay. Wow! What? Holy scheisse. I have never seen a chain this loose. Look at this, guys. And this engine was running, supposedly. However, it doesn't seem like it got too frequent oil changes. A bit varnishy. But the thing is, so far it looks like we can use this engine. The biggest thing is the crankshaft. Why was there a new filter? There's sealant stuck on the oil pump. What? All this was sealant stuck on the oil pump. The thing is, oil pan is dirty, varnishy. All this is just like dirt. Varnish. But doesn't seem like there's any copper. So I'm guessing they replaced the oil pan gasket while the engine was still in the car, and they had to push the oil pan in place so they hit the oil pump. That's why it had sealant on it. I don't think the bearings is spun. None of them are black. So now the engine is on TDC around, and we see that the timing is slightly off, but that could be because I turned the engine backwards a bit earlier, and that could be the reason why it jumped timing, because you can't really turn an engine backwards. First thing, remove the tensioner. Or actually no, undo the hub screw. Holy shit. Okay, that's super weird. Now I'm removing the lifters, and lifters usually has, you see these little pins that go around, and they're the ones that keep the whole little cylinder in place. And I pulled one of them off and it just popped off, and one of them didn't have the little pin thingy. Vanna solenoids look pretty clean. I think we have everything off from the top, what we need right now, so we can spin the engine over again. So everything seems fine, until now at least. I really want to check the main bearings real quick now. That doesn't look bad, no scoring at all. That's how the caps look. Not too bad. Non-stop, but it was so hard to clean. So eventually I just washed all of this around here. So now I need to dry everything out with the brake cleaner. A lot better. Visually there's some like dirt on the walls, but that's just so stuck. But anything big, any varnish is completely gone. Now I do want to remove oil pressure switch and also the oil pressure solenoid. Ugh. Holy shit, it's so clogged up from varnish. That's crazy. Look at it. All this is just the dirt from the engine. I've actually never seen one this dirty. Look at that. Oh my. That's crazy. And that's how it looks after cleaning it. So these two are the top bearings on both the cylinder number 1 and cylinder number 4. You can see that these two bearings has a lot more wear than the bottom ones. On these ones the top layer is already worn off and the second layer, which is made from copper, is showing. So pretty good that I picked up a set of rod bearings. So this is Kolben-Schmidt rod bearings, standard size. Now the bearings that was in the car is original. It says BMW on them. Kolben-Schmidt is actually the original supplier for the rod bearings at the time when this engine was made. So it's actually the same part. Now this is the cap, and the way you install the bearing, you firstly align this little notch Then you just press the bearing in, just like that. And you do the same thing on the car. So you align the notch inside the rod. And push the rod bearing in place. And the same thing in this one as well. Then I cleaned off the journals. Then you push and you pull it up onto the journal like that. Since we are using original parts from original supplier Kolben Schmidt, the old bearings are standard size, you can just swap the bearings out and run it, and it's gonna run probably fine. But for educational purposes, we will check the clearance with plastic gauge. So here I put the plastic gauge, put the cap on, then reinstall the old bolts, oiled because this is a stretch bolt. Now firstly 20 Newton meters, and now 120 degrees each bolt. Now I can loosen the bolts. We can see that some of the plastic gauge got stuck on the cap, but that's not a problem. And the clearance for the rod bearings is supposed to be between 0.025 and 0.070. We can see that it is around 0.050. So that's perfectly in the middle. And it's the same on the other one as well. Now using a little bit of brake cleaner on a rag, you clean it off. Now I'll push the bearing a little bit down and to the side, and I will add assembly lube. And also the same on the cap. Then for the final assembly, you use brand new bolts, which are also lubed up. Done. Now I will do the cylinder number 2 and 3 real quick. So now I swapped out also these rod bearings, the second and the third. Pretty awesome. The rod bearings on the second and third cylinder looked pretty same to the first and fourth. The upper ones pretty bad, and the lower ones pretty good. The reason the upper ones get worn so much more than the lower ones is because when combustion happens, the petrol explodes, it pushes the piston downwards. And when it's pushing downwards, the rod is pushing the crankshaft downwards, and that means that it's pressing more on the top of the bearings. So they get worn a lot more. So now I'm on a little road trip to pick up some parts for the 1 Series. So we know that the seat is missing, so I bought that, which you can see right there, you can see. So that's in the trunk. I bought it from a guy that was parting a 1 Series out, but the 1 Series he had was also Alpine White 3, the same color code as our E81. So we know that on our E91 the clear coat on the hood is all peeling up. I was thinking to get it repainted. That would have cost probably like 330 euros if you're gonna get it done in Norway. So since he had the same color, I bought also the hood from him. So I paid around 130 euros for the hood and the rear seat. You might be wondering, where is the hood? So here's the seat. It needs a little wash on the hood. Not bad, but at least the clear coat is not peeling anywhere. I also got 2 sway bar links for free from him. Now when everything is out, I also want to change the valve stem seals. That is the seals that sit on the valve stem. If they're bad, oil leaks down the valve and into combustion chamber, and then the engine, well, burns oil. These here are the new valve stem seals. This is how they look. I have this toolkit here. which I have never used. I hope this toolkit is usable on this engine. So these things go on something like this. This thing goes through. Yeah, it seems like it should work. Now I'll put 2 nuts. Normally I would put it all the way at the end here, but I need place here if I'm gonna work. So I'm guessing something like that. It works pretty good. You can press the valve down, but there's nothing keeping it in place from under. And to do that, we will use a leak down tester, and we will supply air pressure into the combustion chamber, and that air pressure is gonna hold the valves tight up onto the head. I need to put in 2 injectors to close off the injector holes, because I forgot completely about that. So now I will insert the leak down tester into cylinder number 4 actually. Now connect it up. Seems like there is a little bit leakage on the injector because, well, we are using the old gaskets, old injector. Remove the spring. Last time we found out that the best way to remove valve stem seal is to use vice grips. Like that. This is the old one and this is the new one side by side. Then with the toolkit there are provided these little tubes. You put these tubes over the valves, because that helps to slide over the new valve stem seal over the valve itself. Then you can remove the tube. Then you find a socket that fits over the valve stem seal and you lightly hit it in place. Then back with the valve spring. There you go. Not easy to put the retainers back, but so now I will do the 14 remaining. There you go. So now I replaced all the valve stem seals. Here is all the valve stem seals and you can feel they are pretty hard. So this is definitely a good thing to do. You can see some visual scratches, but nothing that you can really feel with your hand. Here you can maybe slightly feel. So right now I want to also remove the oil pump from this engine and inspect that, because I'm not gonna buy a new oil pump, because this could work, but I also need to inspect the one on this engine. Maybe it's not that bad. I don't know, we'll see. So now I will start pulling the engine out of this thing. We still need to do a lot of disconnecting and unplugging stuff. So now I have basically disconnected everything that I need on top. The rail, all the connectors here. I also removed the radiator. Top I think is good, we need to go under now. Then we need to undo the prop shaft. Also undo the clutch cylinder. Wow, oil drain bolt was loose, that's why it was leaking. So now I just drained the oil. I undid the prop shaft, clutch slave cylinder, everything around here, all the coolant pipes, so I think now it's ready to be completely removed. Yes, sir. Right now, as it's pretty accessible, I will drop the oil pan, remove the oil pump and the oil pump chain guide rail. There you go. Seems like both of these oil pumps are pretty similar. They both show some wear, but not too bad. To make it clear, the oil pump from the replacement engine was scored. Then I had another oil pump that I had laying around from the previous projects, and that one was not that bad. But here I also disassembled the original one from the car. And well, all of them had wear, but they were usable. So what I ended up doing is I put together an oil pump using the best parts out of all 3 oil pumps. Now we immediately can put back the oil pump. However, the oil pump that I had laying around was from a 2-liter N43 engine, and that engine has the oil pump with the balancing shafts. The pumps are identical on the inside and are the same, but just some of the brackets are different. But that's not that big of a deal when you don't have the balancing shafts. 25 Newton meters. 9 Newton meters. Now we can reinstall the oil pump chain that we removed earlier because, well, I broke it. Now I will reinstall the lifters. From the parts engine, I took one of the lifter which has the little tab. Before I tie the camshafts down, I'm gonna lock them in the correct timing position. 10 Newton meters. Now the timing chain. Here I have a timing chain kit from Febi. Here's the new sprocket. So then we put in like this. And of course we have new bolts. Now we'll reinstall the Vanos sprockets. Guide rail to cylinder head is 14 Newton meters, the 2 little bolts here. Upper guide rail is also 14 Newton meters, and the lower one is 20. I will lock the flywheel. We will torque the camshaft main bolt and also the crankshaft main bolt. Then tighten lightly the timing chain tensioner. Firstly 20 Newton meters and then 180 degrees. First 50 Newton meters. So now I turn the engine over and it is still in time. I just want to torque down the oil pump sprocket because that's the last thing that is not torqued down. I added a little bit of thread lock. Oil pump sprocket 32 Newton meters. That is definitely good. Here I have the new oil pan gasket. 30 Newton meters. Valve cover from the engine that we removed from the car. Then the coils. There you go, now the engine is ready. I put back this little plate here. Now I was under and I connected everything under. Prop shaft, clutch, all small things like that. Now on this side I have also connected most of the things. You can see there's a lot of sensors, stuff like that. We're almost ready to put the manifold back on. One more thing before that, the positive terminal. Now I think we are ready for the intake manifold. A little bit dirty, but that will do. Yes. Let's put the belt on. Like that. Now let's connect the filter. So I disconnected the coils right now so we can turn the engine over and build oil pressure. Since the engine was full of sludge and varnish and we cleaned everything out as best as we could, there's definitely some left and probably some of it is now loose in the engine. I will do a quick oil change after running it for a bit. So now I'm putting in some cheap oil again just to like flush the engine. I charged the battery a while ago, so now let's see if the engine cranks over. So the exhaust is not connected at all. Flex pipe is broken. Did I forget to connect something? The car says it's not getting any signal from the crankshaft position sensor. Now when I think about it, I think I actually didn't plug it in. I think I plugged it in. I mean, yeah. So I'm rebuilding the flex pipe. Old part was much shorter. This is like universal one. So I rebuilt it here, put it on, and now I'm measuring if everything is okay, if the exhaust tip is sitting good. And now I will weld here together. Now it's done. I put the brackets on and everything for sure doesn't look pretty. Now I'm adding water because I have already added blue concentrate. As always on N43 engines, turn the ignition on, hold the gas pedal for 20 seconds, and now you can hear the water pump has started the bleeding procedure. This is how it runs now, warmed up, with the exhaust in place, runs very good. There was a little oil leak up there on the corner, but that was leaking from the vacuum pump in the back. So I did remove the vacuum pump again, and I replaced the O-ring that I found on the parts engine because I didn't have time to order a new one, and it wasn't leaking no more after that. The engine has run for some time, so I will drain the oil. Let's remove the filter. Not the cleanest filter. Okay. Now I want to see if I can actually delete the airbag light, since the seat is connected now. And it is working, I can hear from the side pillars. All the airbag codes are related to the passenger seat. Let's see if we can clear them out. I also recoded the injectors in, but it seemed like all of them were coded incorrectly. I just did it anyway. And the airbag light is completely gone. I mean, the 1 Series works. There was a fridge I had to throw out, so I mean, it's driving. Good place though. JT's and Leonell. Bad news. So the last clip we was in for the technical inspection because it's expired and we got some faults. First thing, the front control arm, front left, is loose for some reason. That's definitely the previous owner because we didn't touch the suspension. And there's hitting sound from the steering wheel when you turn it. So I'm hoping that's gonna fix it when we're gonna tighten the control arm. And then the rear subframe. As some of you guys know, the rear subframes on these cars are a nightmare. They rust and they rust a lot. And this car has the same thing. So it's actually that bad that there's a hole in the subframe. And in Norway, the rules are that you can't weld on a subframe. So we need to replace the whole subframe, which we have done before on this channel on a E91. So this is not gonna be detailed way of replacing it. If you want to see a full detailed way to do it, check out the video. I think it's called How Much E91 You Can Get for 861 euros, something like that. But since this is a budget car, and I don't wanna go over budget with this because we do need to make a few cents of it, we're gonna go with the budget route. So we will not buy a brand new subframe, but actually a friend of mine had a whole E90 that he was parting out. It is a bit rusty, but I think we can clean it up. We tried hitting it with a hammer and stuff to see if it's bad, and we couldn't find any dangerous rust, only like surface rust. God damn, I almost died. How do we do this without dying? Probably put it on the jack. Okay. What? Let's go. So this is the old subframe. This is why we got a fault. There's not supposed to be any hole here. And you can see it's completely rusted. Then this is the subframe that I cleaned up. You can see these places was a lot of surface rust, which I did try to clean off. I also put the original springs on this one, and I also removed these control arms from the old one because they do seem like they're in a better state. Now let's try to put it back, I guess. Time to put in the whole knuckle. Yes, now the car is around the ride height. Now most of the suspension is done. I cleaned up a bit as well. So all the arms are torqued. shocks are torqued. I plugged up the brake lines and I also bled the brakes. I do finally have a power bleeder, so that makes it possible to bleed this car brakes alone. So I did, and I double checked everything and it's not leaking. Time for the exhaust. Done. Now I removed the front wheel. Another thing that was wrong with the car, why I didn't pass, was that there is some kind of play in the front left suspension. And when you turn the steering wheel, there's a hitting sound. And now when I check, when I move the thing, there's something super loose. I'm not sure if you can see it on camera. Yeah, it's completely loose, the bolt. Who is driving tractors? It's 12 at night. No more play. Now I am excited to see if there's no more sound from the suspension when turning the steering wheel. Now to show you guys how it looks a lot better. You can also see here in the front that the engine is completely leak-free. Everything is dry and no leaks. What was on the car previously was the winter wheels. Now these are the summer wheels. M Sport, I'm not sure which style they are. We will put on these ones because there's still, well, a month of summer tires left. I'm going to try to show you guys, but I'm not sure what that sound is. I'm guessing that's the pivot bearings on the springs. Then the top mount, the washer. Here I have a new top mount bearing. Then the brand new sway bar link. Done. This is gonna be it for this video. I said previously that I don't want to make multiple videos on this car, and that's what we did. So this video was a long one. I did got the car inspected again and it passed. So now it's all road legal for another 2 years at least, probably more. The engine working flawlessly, not burning any oil, not leaking any oil, driving very nice, no sounds from the suspension, 10 out of 10 car. As many of you guys are probably wondering, the cost. Bought this car for 6,000 krones or around 500 euros. Right now, with all the tax, registration fees, inspection fees, everything, it's around 25,000 krones, which is like 2,300 probably euros, even less than that probably. So this shows that you don't need to spend a lot of money to have a good running car, if you're willing to do the work, of course. But a while ago, I got a comment from someone, something along the lines of, the bargain factor disappears when you have to do the work yourself. So that is gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because it took longer than usual to make, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.